Hey guys, what's up? This video is going to be a little bit different than the usual videos that I put out. It's going to be kind of a little bit of a serious one. It's what everyone's kind of talking about right now is the situation going on with the sentencing of former trucker. I think his name is Rogel, Aguilera-Mederos or something like that. But he got sentenced to 110 years in prison today for the voluntary manslaughter of 4 people that were involved in an accident that he caused a couple of years ago on a highway, I-70 in Colorado, because he failed to use brakes. He failed to use an exit ramp to stop his errand truck that was going down the hill at full speed. Caused an accident, killed 4 people. Very unfortunate that those 4 people are gone and they're never coming back, and there's nothing in this world that can amount to that. No sentence, no money, no nothing can ever equal to the cost of a life, especially 4 of them. But here's just my quick thoughts on all of it, really. And I've been thinking about it all day, and I just thought this would be the best way to kind of get my thoughts out there. I've been reading differing opinions, people that have been signing petitions to get his sentence lowered, people that have been saying that the 110 years is justifiable, that he deserves everything that he's getting. Man, I like to play the neutral game a lot when it comes to things like this, because I'm always the kind of person that's like, well, man, there's always 2 sides to a coin, right? There's gotta be, right? Like, everything isn't always what you read or what it seems, right? Although I watched that video, and I'll tell you, he made a lot of big mistakes on that video. I'll tell you, he had a chance to make a mistake that he had already made and keep it to a small one. But it didn't. For whatever reasons, I didn't sit. I'm not in the truck with. None of us were in the truck with him at that time. He just decided to keep going. Whether it was purposeful negligence or just panic, I don't. Nobody really knows, right? The only person that knows is him. And it just really sucks, because I've been in this industry now for a little over a month. You know, I went to school, I learned how to drive a truck and got my license, and then I started working. And I've been working now for a little over a week. I'm a student driver, but in that a little amount of time, I've already done about a little over 5,000 miles already in my 1 week's time. And in that 1 week's time, I've already gone cross country. I'm headed right now for another cross country trip, going from Washington to Texas. I went from Kentucky to Texas. From Kentucky to Washington, from Washington back to Texas now. And in that amount of time, I've done so much of different kinds of driving already. Winter driving in the snow. It's snowing here in Utah where I'm at right now. So, you know, I've done snow, I've done rain, I've done deep grades and high hills. And I felt what all of that is like just as a student driver. Somebody who has a trainer with him and doing these things, and it's not easy. It's very difficult, and it's very nerve-wracking when you're going down these hills. But if you're trained properly, 9 times out of 10 you're going to be able to get yourself through those hills without a problem. But if you can't, there's ways to get yourself out of it. So I don't know, it's really tough. It sucks for everybody involved, I'll tell you that much. That's the way I feel about it. It sucks for the families that lost those 4 people that aren't coming back, because you can't put a cost on a life, and that fucking sucks. If it makes you mad, I think you're justified in being mad about it. I don't know if it makes me mad. It just makes me sad. It makes me really sad, because I don't like people's lives being taken from them when they have no control over it. On the flip side of things, like I said, 2 sides of a coin. Does he deserve to spend the rest of his life in jail? God, that's such a tough one. That is really such a tough one. Because I believe that we all have the opportunity to come back from our mistakes, but sometimes those mistakes are so big that there's almost a no point of return. And I think for him, that's where he's at. If the courts say that 110 years is justifiable for what he did, then we just have to go off of that. 110 years is justified. Do I think, stick a fork in him and, bring him to the gallows and hang him by a rope? I don't know if we need to go that far. It depends, right? Because now if he came out and said, look, I didn't give a shit. I felt like I wanted to just run down everybody on that road that day. Well, then you know what? Yeah, maybe he does deserve everything that's coming to him. Like, yeah, boy, you do. But it's so hard when that's not what he's saying. And then granted, everybody has a way of being able to kind of weasel their way out of things. And, we all do it. We all should admit to ourselves that we're not 100% true to ourselves in everything that we do, guys. We lie about things all the time. We're human beings. We don't tell the truth 100% of the time. We've had demons. We've done things that all of us are not proud of. We've made mistakes. Granted, somebody that unfortunately takes a life, it's really hard to come back from that. But I will say, that's the unfortunate part of it, right? Like he made the biggest mistake of his life, and he's going to pay for it. This is what he's going to have to do to maybe eventually get some kind of, I guess, if there's any way that he might be able to come back from this, just from a person. His trucking career is over forever, but just from a life perspective, his life isn't over, because although he did unfortunately take 4 lives in that incident, he's not dead. He's alive, and he's got an opportunity here to try and do something right. Even if he's in jail, even if it's just reflecting on what he did and knowing that everybody, including his own family's life, has changed from here. I don't know. It's a tough situation. The one thing I can say is that I don't know if we should be playing sides. I don't know if half of us should be over here on this line over here saying, stick a fork in him and stick him to the wall and do a 21 gun, whatever to him, get him off of this earth. And you got the other half over here saying, nah, man, he should go to jail because he committed a crime. Yeah, he should definitely go to jail, but not for 110 years. He should go to jail for 50 years or 40 years. He should have the opportunity to come back out of jail and see his family again at some point. But why are we having to play that way? Why are we having to be over here or over here? That's where I think that's where more problems and more division, it just creates an issue. I think at the end of the day, what the real issue that we need to make sure is that we all can be in agreement that the best thing we can do to prevent big mistakes, let's promote that, right? Let's promote what it takes to make sure you don't make those big mistakes like that. The best thing that I can tell you is, if you're a trucker, I'm going to use trucking first, and then I'm going to move to just general life. But in trucking, in this situation, if you're going down a steep grade, I can tell you, this is just from a student. Feel free to tell me I'm wrong. Feel free to tell me I'm stupid if I say this. But if you're going down a steep grade and you can't apply a good slow down braking method to get you a nice slow down going down that steep grade, you're losing control. You're going too fast. You're at a moment where you have to make a decision that could cause between life and death, right? You got a split second to make that decision. If you see that exit ramp, even if you feel like you're gonna have to jerk that wheel pretty hard to get over there, do it. Jerk that wheel. You might jackknife your truck, you might roll it over, but at least you're not gonna cause a 24 car pileup, right? I mean, but make sure before you go through things like that someone's talked you through how to do them. Make sure that when you're with your trainers out there, that you have them tell you what is the best way to go down a steep grade. Because you've done it before, you're the trainer, right? And if the trainer says, I don't know, you figure it out, then that's where you have to stop. And you have to find another trainer. Because if your trainer's not teaching you the right way to go down a steep grade, you don't need to be with that trainer. That's a problem in itself, right? But really, there's so many different methods to slowing down on a steep grade. You can use the engine brake. You can use light stab braking if you feel like you're gonna start losing control. And if push come to shove, and you're just losing control, hard brake and steer off. Try to get off of just going straight down. Steer off. Slow yourself down one way or another. Just try. It doesn't hurt to try. You know? You might end up hurting yourself. And you might, unfortunately, in this industry, if you get into a wreck, you might end up hurting somebody by accident. It's how it goes in this industry. It's the signature we all put on that piece of paper, that liability piece of paper when we all do this, is that we might get into accidents. But if we apply the time, the effort to learn safety procedures on how to do all of these different things out here on the road, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna be okay. But you just, for all the truckers out there, just continue to be safe out there, continue to do the right things on the road, and try not to panic. It's easy to panic out here. It really is. You see that truck moving, you see that truck picking up speed, it's easy to panic. But just know that there are at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth, ways of being able to possibly get yourself out of a bind before it gets too bad. Because you might make the biggest mistake of your life, and there's no coming back from it. Or at least, if there is a way to come back from it, it's going to take a Herculean effort to get there. And then the same goes in life in general. Teach yourself. Continue to learn things every day. Whatever it is that you do in your life, to make sure that the mistakes that you make are not going to cost, the worst thing is cost people's lives. Learn from all the mistakes that you make, the small ones, so that you don't create a big one. Apply yourself. Get yourself right here. If you can't get yourself right here, how are you going to be able to go out here in the world and do anything? You have to be able to get yourself right here. You have to center yourself, right? Learn how to center yourself in life so that you can go out there and do things that the non-negligent way. That's the best way that I can put it, right? Apply yourself in the right ways. But hey, I'll tell you this too. If you unfortunately make that big mistake in your life, the best thing that I can say is reflect. Just take a step back from everything and reflect on what happened to you. What did you do to cause that? What could you have done better? And what you can do moving forward. whether it is that you unfortunately took a life involuntarily or not. You have a chance to take a step back and become a better person. People might always hate you. People might always not like you. You're not going to be able to please everybody. That's just the end all be all of it. But the best thing that you can do as a person is reflect on the things that you did, things that you've done, and just try to be better. That's all you can do. Don't lie about it. Don't hide it. If you made a mistake, own up to your mistake, and just try to be better from it, guys. I mean, that's all I can say about it. I mean, that to me, I feel like I could talk about the case and all that fun stuff and what he did and what he didn't do. I could probably talk about that all day long and go back and forth with people on it. But I think the real thing that I really kept thinking about on this thing is that, man, like, we as people just need to take a step back and reflect. Reflect on what you're doing in life and how you're applying yourself. And I can guarantee you that if you do things the right way, if you really apply yourself the right way, you make sure you're learning every day, you make sure to get right in here, keep yourself centered, I guarantee you, you're going to be able to live a full and, somewhat mistake-free life. I mean, I don't know. But guys, I'll tell you, I guess the final note on this is that I do feel really bad for those families that were involved, and I wish them nothing but peace. And I hope that in some form or way that they can move forward and try to continue their lives. I know it's going to be hard for them, but maybe what happened today maybe brings them a little bit of peace. I don't know. But either way, it's a sucky situation, guys. But go out there, apply yourself in whatever it is that you do. Learn from your mistakes and reflect. Talk to you guys later.